Ladies and gentlemen, hello, welcome to the channel, and once again, we got the NFL Pick'em video here. We're going to start off with week one. I actually have a guest with me tonight, if you want to introduce yourself.
What up, y'all? I am Pooty, aka everybody knows me as Potter. Everybody hates my guts, but I'm not gonna take part in Wolf's little reindeer games. I'm gonna help him with these videos. And mind you, my picks are not being counted as Wolf's picks aren't being counted. I just want to discuss this to you viewers and fans out there that mine and Wolf's picks do not count this year. We are here to talk about the football games and our possible views on the outcome. Whether you agree with us or not is your own discretion.
Reindeer games?
You know what I meant.
Yes, what Potter just said is correct. My picks and Potter's picks will not count this year. Potter, I didn't mind for fairness because I figured I want to actually give away to the community. I'm giving away a prize for the winner this year, and I figured I don't want to be involved in that, and I don't want to make a chance where I actually win the prize and not be unfair to you guys. But
Yeah, and I don't
Potter,
want to. I don't. My views are the same on the matter. I don't want to be a part of it and have an unfair advantage because I get to record videos with Wolf. I feel it's unfair that I have the advantage. Although last year I came in third place, that is inconsequential to me. I'm here to talk about my love of the game of football.
and also for the people that are actually watching this video just to see their picks and see how everyone else did this week, or to see the picks for everyone's week, that's not going to be in this video. This is the long discussion football talk video. We're going to talk about every game in detail, and we're going to get through all the games this week. Um, the video you want to watch is going to be later on, coming out on Saturday. It's a short, maybe 3 to 5 minute video where I just go and list every pick I have of the games, and I basically show off everyone else's picks as well. So that's the video you want to watch. But if you want to just talk about pure football, this is the video you want to watch for this. And it is gonna be a
Let's
long
see. You know
video.
what? I kind of want to throw this out there, Wolf.
Go ahead.
So, friendly competition between the two of us. Since we're not counting our picks, how about we play against each other?
I mean, that's fine. I'm not
I
recording
think
our
that
picks
might be
though.
fun for everybody to see because there's been a lot last year. If I remember correctly, there's a lot of times where you and I disagreed about certain things. And it
Yes.
was really tough. Those were come down to the wire games. So I think that we could utilize that and make this a little bit more enjoyable for people who want to sit through the longer video.
Okay. Makes sense. Let's just actually get into the games here. I think we talked long enough about like the series and about the pick'ems. Let's get to our
People
first
know what's
game.
going on. People know what's going on.
Yeah.
And you know what the first game is. You know what the first game is.
Bills at Los Angeles Rams. Potter, I'll let you go first.
So the Bills are coming to Los Angeles after last year with everything that's happened and all the strides that Buffalo has made. And Von Miller's going home for the first time. He's going to be playing in Los Angeles for the first time since they, won their Super Bowl, and he was a part of that Super Bowl winning Rams team. There's a lot of controversy around this game, in my opinion. How is Josh Allen going to fare against the Super Bowl winning Rams? How is that Rams defense going to fare without Von Miller against Josh Allen? How's the running back situation going to look? How's Matt Stafford going to go against a bolstered defense now that the Buffalo Bills have Von Miller on their squad? A healthy Buffalo team. I honestly, and this is not Bills Mafia talking. This is football analyst I am Pooty talking. If I have to take a team, I have to take the Buffalo Bills in this. There's too much riding on them right now for them to lose the first game of the year. That shows a lot, losing the first game of the year, in my opinion. If you can't start your season strong, you don't end your season strong. That's just my opinion about it. And it's a huge, an even huger game, I think, for the Rams, because it always comes down to that. Can this Super Bowl winning team do it again? Can they have the same magical season that they had 1 year ago? And it's always about doing the repeat, man. For a squad like that to retain, and the LA Rams retained a decent amount of their squad with the lead. I mean, obviously the impending Von Miller left for Buffalo. You know what I'm saying? Other than that, though, I'm pretty sure that their squad is firmly intact. Wolf, if you could confirm that for me, that'd be sweet.
All right, let's talk about it. First of all, I'm gonna talk about the Rams defense first. Um, let's not be like funny and say that Von Miller made their defense. They have Aaron Donald. They still have Jalen Ramsey.
That wasn't a factor. I said, how is that defense going to fare without Von Miller, a pass rushing linebacker, against Josh Allen? That's what I said.
Yes. And then there's one more person they add to that defense. They added Bobby Wagner to that defense as well.
And you know what? I heard Bobby Wagner had a tremendous preseason, already a captain of that football team. And that is a hard feat for you to walk onto a football team after a trade or a free agency pickup and become a captain in your first year. Hats off to Bobby Wagner. I really hope he plays well in Los Angeles.
However, let's just make something clear here. Last season, the Bills' defense was number 1 in the league. Like, not talk about the Chiefs game. Don't forget about the Chiefs game for a minute. The Bills defense last season was first in the league, and the reason they lost that Chiefs game is because they couldn't get any pass rush on Patrick Mahomes. And last season, their biggest problem on defense was their pass rush. No pass. I mean, I don't think the Bills actually had the most sack or had like one of the least amount of sacks in the NFL last season, if I'm not mistaken correctly. Another problem they had is the run. They went out. They got Von Miller, someone that can get the pass rush going for the Bills. And also, Von Miller will help the younger, talented pass rushers get footing under them as well. Like, he's basically the person to teach them what to do.
I agree. He's a veteran that has a lot of playing time under his belt. But here's another veteran I want to talk about that you mentioned, the running game. I want to talk about the Bills picked up Matt Breida. I think that's a great pickup. I think that he's going to help out tremendously in that backfield, teach Zach Moss a few things, and help Devin Singletary develop into a more superstar running back that we've seen, a more dynamic. And that's what Devin Singletary is, in my opinion. He's a dynamic runner. Once he breaks that plane, he's gone. Whereas Zach Moss is more, in my opinion, an old school trucker power type running back where he can plow through people like Marshawn Lynch used to for the Buffalo Bills. I feel that Matt Breida brings a little bit of both of that into the backfield in Buffalo, which could be really, really interesting to see.
Potter.
Yeah.
The Bills cut him.
When did they cut him? I'm sorry, I've been working a lot.
He's now on the Giants.
Matt Breida's a Giant.
Yes.
Well, I mean, honestly, okay, so omitting everything that I just said, I still feel like Matt Breida brings a lot to a football team, but I suppose we'll talk about that when we get to the Giants game. Okay, and here's another game we're going to play for our viewers. How many fuck-ups does Pootie have in each video? So that's one.
Real quickly, since we're talking about the running game for the Bills, they do have Singletary. They also added a new stud running back, James Cook, as well. I think Cook is
that's why they cut Breida, because they added Cook.
Yeah. And then they have Zach Moss as well. So they have
Zach Moss played great last year.
Zach Moss was he had a bad season last year in my opinion. I don't think he actually had that many good carries actually. But real quickly,
in my opinion, anything over 4.0, anything over 4.0 yards a carry, it's fine by me.
Let's find out if he had 4.0 yards a carry last year. Just to find out. Zach Moss, we said, right?
Yeah.
3.6.
I'm going to say 4.1. Huh?
3.6. Off to a good start, aren't we?
Yeah, off to a great start. That's 2 fuck-ups for me.
If we're actually keeping count, we have to actually put a counter up probably sooner or later.
Sooner rather than later. But that's okay. I still feel like this could be the breakout year for Zach Moss. The offensive line has gotten progressively better over the offseason. I feel like his power style running is going to be a factor this year. Devin Singletary and him could be the best 1-2 punch that Buffalo has had since Freddie Jackson and Marshawn Lynch.
Let's talk about the Bills offense and let's talk about the Rams offense real quick. I'm just gonna go real quickly about this stuff. The Bills offense was a juggernaut last season. Am I right, Potter?
I have to agree.
And then they go out and they add Roger Stafford from the Tennessee Titans. They went out and got David Quintonberry as well. I believe he's also a Titan or Raven. I can't remember which one he came from last season.
I believe he was a Titan.
Let me find out real quick.
I believe Quintonberry was a Titan.
I can't actually find where his actual stats are last season. But nonetheless, I think these are two great lineman pickups. I think the offensive line's a lot better this season as well. And you're going to see Josh Allen cooking. You're going to see Devin Singletary going off. Gabe Davis. Man, this man's going to have a freaking field day. I think Gabe Davis is going to be a dark horse. And if you guys actually want to get a dark horse receiver in fantasy, that's the man you should pick up.
I'm not going to lie. I think that new rookie's going to be the dark horse this year, too. Why not? He could be perfect in the slot. I think McKenzie, I think Isaiah McKenzie's just, I don't know.
They're not running McKenzie in the slot, though. They're running Jameis Crowder.
Oh, Jamison Crowder. I forgot we had him, too. That's a nice pickup, too. Like, he's not terrible either.
As for the Rams, I mean, they lost. Let's just talk about this real quickly. They lost Robert Woods to free agency. He went to the Tennessee Titans. They picked up. They still have Van Jefferson. They picked up Allen Robinson the second for receivers. They still got Cooper Kupp.
Which isn't a bad pickup. Robinson's solid.
However, the big loss for the Rams offense is Whitworth. Whitworth has retired. That offensive line, it's going to be interesting to see how they're going to do without like Whitworth on the team now, especially for a young offensive line like the Rams have. So, Potter, who are you going to take? Bills or Rams?
I'm going to take the Buffalo Bills. I just have the feeling Josh Allen's coming out with something to prove. It's a huge game. Thursday night in LA. First game of the season. Buffalo needs to get on a winning streak immediately. Buffalo needs to prove that they're the team to beat this year in the AFC. Period. Point blank, period.
I don't think just the AFC. They got to be the team to beat in the NFL. They're getting all this hype around them. They got to look really good.
You have to be the best in the AFC to even make it to the Super Bowl. And the Bills have been within reach for the last, 2-3 years now? Just within reach. The 13-second thing, the first KC game. Like, let's us not forget any of that.
I gotta take Buffalo as well. I think the Rams are going downhill. Not downhill in the sense of where, like, here's the thing. For this game, there's no shame in losing to the Rams if the Buffalo Bills lose. There's no shame in losing to the Bills if you're the Rams as well. It's gonna just be a hurt for the start of the season for this team. And I do, however, think that the Bills need a win, but I do think the Rams need it more because they have a tougher schedule ahead of them as well. But the Bills have a tough schedule in the start of the season as well. So they have the Titans, and then week 3, the Dolphins. We'll talk about the Dolphins later because you guys know I'm going to have to talk about the Dolphins. But I'm taking Buffalo over freaking Rams. Let's just go into the next game, Potter. We got New Orleans Saints at the Atlanta Falcons.
Atlanta Falcons. All right, so Matt Ryan out. I'm just going to immediately talk about the Falcons. So Matt Ryan's out. They got Marcus Mariota. Is it Marcus Mariota that's going to start?
Marcus Mariota is starting. Desmond Ridder is
Marcus
actually
Mariota is going to get his first starting time. I mean, he is the incumbent starter. Like, this is the first time he's been declared the incumbent starter since he was a Tennessee Titan. So there's a lot on the line here for that, in my opinion. It could be Mariota's time to show that he's matured a lot since his last time as the incumbent starter. But I also feel like this is New Orleans' game to lose. In my opinion, Jameis Winston is another incumbent starter for the Saints, and he came in last year with the departure of brain fart. So he came in with the departure of Drew Brees.
Yes.
And there was a lot of shoe to fill there with Drew Brees throwing for 500 plus almost every game. 5,000 400 plus every game and 5,000 plus every year. That's a lot of shoes to fill. So I could understand last year where the reins were a bit shaky for Winston and the Saints there, but I think that they could come together. I don't know though, because Alvin Kamara. I don't know if Alvin Kamara's even playing this game because
Alvin
of the
Kamara
whole.
is playing.
He's playing.
His court date got pushed back, so he'll not be actually getting suspended this season.
Oh wow. Okay. So that's. I mean, the Saints are fully healthy. I don't see them not winning this game, but at that rate, if the Falcons, which are a young team, except with the exception of Mariota, who is a seasoned vet, has played backup in Oakland, now in Las Vegas for a while, was the
Okay,
incumbent starter in Tennessee.
I got a
I just,
question for you. How many wins do you think the Falcons are going to get this season?
I mean, I'd like to see them get an 8-8 seed. I think they could go 8-8. I really think they could go, or I'm sorry, 8-9.
I think this
If it's a
team is
17-game
going to be
season.
one of the worst teams in the NFL this season.
You really think that?
Only because it's going to be the Cal Pitts show. They have no one, like, their running back's Cordell Patterson, which I like Cordell Patterson, but he's not, like, all there, really, as a great talent.
Right, he's never really been all there.
Calvin Ridley is suspended for the whole season. Their receiving core is Drake London, Zadius, I can't even say the first name, I have to call him Zadius, because I don't know what to say, and Brian Edwards.
I mean, you could see something come out of nothing there. People elevate themselves in football all year long. What you could say now, where you think they're going to be the worst team in the NFL, come 5 weeks from now, they could, let me say this, they could be 5-0 come week 5, and Wolf could be completely wrong. Like, they're a young team that need to develop.
However, they could also be 0-5 and be down
and you
the
could be
barrel.
absolutely right. You could be absolutely right. So the future is weird in Atlanta right now, which is why I'm going to take New Orleans. New Orleans is a complete team. I think they have their heads on their shoulders right now with Jameis Winston behind center. Alvin Kamara is not going to get suspended. Michael Thomas is still around.
Michael Thomas is questionable to play this game. I believe he's going to play. Even if they didn't have Alvin Kamara, they still have Mark Ingram as well on this team as well.
Right. Like
Taysom Hill is a tight end now. He wouldn't actually switch over to tight end.
That's news to me as well.
Cameron Jordan's still on the team as an edge rusher. Saints defense also has the Honey Badger on it as well, which I've completely forgot about. This is a good defense. This is an underrated Saints defense.
And they still have Marshawn Lattimore too. So the outsides, like, they still have Marshawn Lattimore on the outside. So I mean, like, this is a pretty decent Saints team, and I don't really see the Falcons getting a W here. I definitely see their team meshing a little bit more, and we'll definitely see how Marcus Mariota fares in his first start. I can't say I remember when his last start was, but I can say that, like, his first start in a while.
Oh, you're talking about Winston, or you're talking about Mariota?
Yeah, Mariota. Like, what, he started a couple times when Derek Carr was hurt. Was it last year he was hurt?
Yeah, my problem with Mariota is that it's just so not, like, proven when like, he started a little bit when I believe sounds right about the Raiders. I don't think Derek Carr was hurt that long, though. He only had, like, maybe 1 or 2 drives in that possession. I don't think he had a whole game. But my problem with Mariota is that, like, if we're going off of what we see in Tennessee, there was nothing really there. He had the talent, but he just didn't have the smarts to really get going in the NFL. He wasn't making the right reads. He wasn't making the right decisions. And it led to interceptions all the time with Mariota.
Can you tell me what the quarterback room looks like in Atlanta right now?
They have Mariota, and then they also have Desmond Ridder. Desmond Ridder is a rookie this season, so I don't know how he's going to be.
That's what we're probably looking at right now. I'm going to say, this is what I'm going to say in my experience in watching teams do this. I've seen a bunch of teams do this throughout the years. Can you go check on the puppies? I'm sorry. And I've seen a bunch of teams do this throughout the years where they get a quarterback, and by week 5, he's not the quarterback anymore. Could this be by week 5, week 3, week 7? Could this be Desmond Ritter's team? That's going to be the question for everybody throughout this whole year looking at the Falcons. Is Desmond Ritter better?
Then Mariota.
Can he be better? Is Marcus Mariota going to stay the starter in Atlanta?
And by the way, Atlanta fans, when I say I think you're gonna have one of the worst teams in the NFL, don't take that personally. Kyle Pitts is a monster. He's a beast. However, he has the Julio Jones effect where he cannot catch in the end zone. It's hate to say it, but it's true.
Next game.
All right. I'm just gonna let you talk. Browns at Panthers. This is your game.
So Browns at the Panthers, and this is what I've directly heard that Baker Mayfield says he's going in there to fuck them up, quote unquote.
Did he actually say this?
He actually said he's going to fuck them up. That's what I read in an article. So obviously there's a lot of tension there on Baker Mayfield's end, I feel, when the Browns brought in Deshaun Watson, who's not going to play, by the way. And can we just talk about how he only got suspended for 8 games, but there's people who've gotten suspended for full years for smoking weed? Is that like fucked up in my opinion? Absolutely.
So it was originally 6 games and they changed it to 12 or 11.
Who do the Browns have besides him?
As a quarterback? You want me to just name him?
Yeah.
All right. The starter is going to be, let me just turn off this phone real quick. Hold on.
Tyrod?
It's not Tyrod. It's Jacoby Brissett. Jacoby Brissett, and then you got Joshua Dobbs as a second stringer.
Oh my God. So, do I feel confident that the Browns are going to do anything this year? No. I honestly feel Baker Mayfield's going to walk in to hit, and it's the Browns in Carolina. That's the best thing. So he's going to walk in and impress his fan base. Immediately he have a chance to impress his fan base and fuck over his former team at the same time. I'm going to take the Panthers 155%. I think Myles Garrett could be a factor here, but I feel like Baker Mayfield's going to stick to his I'm going to fuck him up thing. And I think Baker Mayfield has every chance in the world to prove it.
Baker Mayfield's coming into this game with a lot to prove. This is his former team. This is a team that threw him away to the garbage, bringing in basically a man that should not even be playing in the NFL right now.
Agreed.
However, for the Browns to win this game, they need to keep the ball out of Brissett's hands and let Nick Chubb and Kareem Hunt do most of the work.
I agree 155%. The running game needs to be a factor, but Brissett has options to throw to. Don't forget. Yeah, like he has options to throw to, so it's not like it's going to be a problem for Brissett to throw the ball. I can understand like when he was on the Colts, he didn't have anybody to throw the ball to. And in my opinion, the same with the Dolphins. He didn't really have a good wide receiver core to throw the ball to. So here in Cleveland, I think he has the best chance with David Njoku, with fucking Amari Cooper, to actually kind of maybe thrive a little bit. And in Deshaun Watson's absence, I still don't think the Browns are going to do shit, because Jacoby Brissett is nothing more than a game manager in my opinion. You can go back to any time last year when we talked about the Dolphins where I kept saying that Jacoby Brissett is not a starting quarterback. He is one of those quarterbacks where you can put him in there and he's going to be good for 11 games. But the second Deshaun Watson comes back, it's over. He's an afterthought. And he's already an afterthought in Cleveland. I'll tell you right now. They're already planning to, any way possible, replace him.
I think the Panthers are the better shot to win this game. I'm not really confident in Cleveland.
Why would you be?
The only thing that really scares me, the Panthers, is the defense really in this game, because I think that if Kareem Hunt and Nick Chubb get going, they could actually give a problem to the defense. But besides that, and the Carolina Panthers have their own problems as well, and we're gonna get into them like later in the season. Like Christian McCaffrey's made out of glass. I'm just gonna be honest with you guys. I don't think he's gonna like last a full season. But in this game, it's week 1 of the season. Baker Mayfield should be fired up to play against his former team, and he wants something to prove. And I think the safe bet is to take Carolina over the Browns.
Agreed. I agree 100%.
Up next, we got the 49ers at the Chicago Bears.
So there's a quarterback struggle going on in San Francisco because why San Francisco decided to keep Jimmy Garoppolo on their roster still is a head scratcher to me. Like, I just don't understand why they wouldn't have found a team worthy of taking him, or was there a team that didn't want to take him? The contract is huge. I can't remember what the numbers are, but I know it's huge. Like, if it's guaranteed by a certain day, like it's guaranteed money now, I'm pretty sure. And it's like a high number. It's like over 20 grand. It's like over 20 grand or 20 million.
They signed him for a 1-year deal. I know that for sure. Let me just search it up real quick.
I was reading something about where something was guaranteed, something along the lines of like 18 mil or 20 mil, something like that, on a certain day. Like past a certain day, it was guaranteed.
Okay, he's signing. His base salary is six mil, and he has basically. Oh no, okay, 1 year, 7 mil contract, but he's guaranteed 6.5 of that.
So they reworked it.
Yeah.
Because I read somewhere else that the unless they reworked it recently, like like they were talking about, it was a salary of like 18 million or something like that. That was guaranteed to him with bonuses.
They signed him recently. I don't know the full like thing. However, the Niners The Niners is very interesting. Like Deebo Samuel was supposed to not like re-sign either this season, and then somehow he did re-sign. Trey Lance is the starter for the Niners.
Just so for how long? How long? Like I don't feel like Kyle Shanahan or John Lynch have any faith in Trey Lance as much as they say they do, or else they wouldn't have kept Jimmy Garoppolo on that roster. They would have let Jimmy walk to another team. I'm still convinced in that fact that they don't fully trust Trey Lance behind center.
I mean, if you've seen the preseason he had, I wouldn't trust him either. He had a really bad preseason.
And I thought Jimmy played great for San Francisco when he was healthy, but that's the problem. He has the Sam Bradford treatment. He can't stay healthy.
Jimmy Garoppolo, yeah, I like Jimmy actually as a quarterback. It's just
I like him too if he stays healthy, but he can't stay healthy. He's like Sam Bradford.
Yeah.
If you don't know who Sam Bradford is, we can't be friends. Sorry.
I know who Sam Bradford is.
I didn't mean you. I was saying that to them.
I don't know where they're going with this. I would put my full trust in Trey Lance, and if he would have lost the games for us, he would have lost the games for us at least, but at least you know like where you're going with this. Now you just got a quarterback controversy where you're gonna have Jimmy on the sideline basically giving, he can basically come in at any time if Trey Lance is having a bad game and take over the starting spot in a heartbeat, which I'm not surprised if he does. Another real quick thing to talk about. Pardon?
What does that do to one's psyche? Being told you're the starting quarterback, but then knowing that there's your starting quarterback from last year on the bench waiting in any moment to just take your job. How much pressure does that put on somebody?
It might be a good thing for a young quarterback like Trey Lance to have that pressure on the sideline to help him actually get better games going. Let's talk about the Bears real quick. Justin Fields. How do you feel about Justin Fields?
I don't know how I feel about Justin Fields. I know that I believe the Bears just recently brought in a quarterback. I believe it was Nick Mullins.
That's not in here though on the step chart. They might have brought him in and put him on the. No,
Or
Nick
maybe
Mullins is.
who's the Bears quarterback besides Justin Fields? Someone's there of notable
Trevor
name.
Simeon or something like that.
Trevor Simeon.
Simeon, yeah. The Bears have a lot of injuries apparently at receiver. N'Keal Harry in IR. Tajay Sharp, David Moore. Also IRs for linemen as well. The Bears are an interesting team. I don't know how they're going to do this season. And they're taking on a really great defense in the Niners. Nick
They really
Bosa is
are.
still there. Jimmy Ward's on IR, but I think Greg Olin will be fine in that spot for right now. Fred Warner is a marvelous talent at middle linebacker. I gotta take the Niners over the Bears.
Same.
I don't think it's even much of a contest with this game here. George Kittle and Deebo Samuel is questionable play for the Niners, but I just think the defense is kind of just too much for a young Justin Fields to handle, especially if his offensive line can't hold him back. But
Right.
We'll find out when the season starts.
Right, we could be completely wrong. Shit.
This is the hardest part about this season is that you got to start off the season hot, and these are games that are hard to pick because it can go either way with some of these games. We don't know how these teams are going to look on the field. Anyways, Pittsburgh Steelers at the Cincinnati Bengals.
Another team that has no idea who the quarterback's going to be.
Which one?
The Steelers.
They named Trubisky as a starter.
Today?
A few days ago.
Because up until recently, I know that he was conflicted between him and the other guy.
And Pickett.
I can't remember his name. Kenny Pickett.
Yeah, Mitch Trubisky's the starter, and Kenny Pickett is the backup until further notice.
You want to know who's not going to start for the Pittsburgh Steelers?
Mason Rudolph.
Dwayne Haskins, rest in peace.
Oh. All right.
And I really felt that this could have been Dwayne Haskins' year to like really, really shine out. Like he was getting really hyped up during like practices with the team off season with his teammates and stuff. The couple days he practiced with his teammates, I guess he was playing really well.
Haskins was actually decent as a backup for the Steelers. Like partying aside, because that was his problem, was his partying, really. Apparently, according to Washington, I believe. Man, what do I want to say about the Cincinnati Bengals right now? I feel like last season was a fluke for them to make the Super Bowl.
See, this is going to be the first time in the video that you and I are going to disagree. I feel like Zach Taylor, their coach, has come in there and really, really built something. He's built something different in the Bengals, where we haven't seen the Bengals like this in a long time. Even when Dalton first came to town.
And don't get me wrong,
Dalton was there. It wasn't as big as it is right now.
And don't get me wrong, I like Jamal Chase, I like T. Higgins, I like Tyler Boyd, I like Joe Mixon. That is a great offense. My one problem with the Bengals is their offensive line. I feel like whenever they bring out this offensive line, they're going to get Joe Burrow killed. And that's my main problem with that. And that's what happened against the freaking Rams in the Super Bowl. Aaron Donald.
He just got murdered.
Yeah, they murdered him. The offensive line was not ready for that game, and it showed in the on the tape. The Bengals defense is one of the best defenses in the league. No question about that. Jesse Bates is a great star-studded free safety that came out last season. Eli Apple talks his shit, but he doesn't get burned often, let's just say, okay? He will get burned from time to time, but Trey Henderson's a great freaking D lineman. Oh man, I like the defense. However, the Steelers also have a great, tremendous defense, in my opinion. Cameron Hayward is a stud. Pardon?
They always have.
They always have. Cameron Hayward, TJ Watt. Now you add Miles Jack to the equation. Minka Fitzpatrick is still there, a great safety. Terrell Edmonds. We don't talk about his name a lot. I think he's actually a star-studded safety as well. Man, this is a battle of defenses, I think, in my opinion. I don't think the Cincinnati Bengals are gonna go down the field against the Steelers like with ease. However, I do think that the Bengals have more star-studded talent on the team than the Pittsburgh Steelers do. I mean, look at Trubisky, Najee Harris. What do you think about Najee Harris?
I think Najee Harris is pretty good.
I think he's good too. And then you also got Chase Claypool, and you got this young star rookie receiver named George Pickens that the Steeler fans can't shut up about.
Right.
I hear how he's like gonna be the next like star-studded Calvin Johnson. Calm the f down, Billy. But yeah. I like the Steelers' future going forward, but I don't know about this season, especially with Trubisky starting at quarterback and then maybe Pickett taking over down the line. I'm pretty sure we're gonna see Pickett sooner or later in the games, though, especially if the Steelers lose a few games to start the season.
Right.
I'm taking the Bengals. However, they do got a lot to prove this season. They got to prove it wasn't a fluke last season, making it to the playoffs.
I'm going to take the Steelers.
Ooh, you're taking the Steelers. Why is that?
You take the Steelers because I think the Steelers also have a lot to prove this season, but the Steelers have never, okay, this is their first real year without Big Ben behind quarterback. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's a real chance for them to prove that they can develop a quarterback and he can be just as good as Ben Roethlisberger can. I think Mike Tomlin has a real hold on handle. He has always had a real hold and handle on his teams. Again, I've always been really high on Mike Tomlin. He's a great coach. I have no doubts that the Steelers can win this game.
Now, I'm going to be honest with you guys. I think the AFC North is like one of the toughest divisions in the NFL still. I mean, the West is a bloodbath, but this is a grueling war that's been going on for quite a few years now with the AFC North. It's been getting built constantly. There's a lot of great divisions in the AFC, man.
Yeah, there is.
But I'm taking the Bengals. They're coming off of a Super Bowl appearance. I think that's going to be momentum as well for them. And plus, we got to see how the Steelers do without Big Ben. That's a big story as well right now. And Trubisky, I mean, I like Trubisky in Buffalo as a backup. How'd you feel about Trubisky?
I like Trubisky. I think he's going to do well in Pittsburgh. I think they're going to win their first game with him.
I like Trubisky too. It's just I don't know how he's going to do in Pittsburgh, so we're just going to have to wait and see. But this is going to be a
obviously Mike Tomlin feels like he's a starting quarterback or else he wouldn't have named him the starter.
That's true. However, he could be wasting some time here, just like how all coaches do with their rookie quarterbacks to get some experience and waiting for a good team to get his quarterback out there to see how he does.
True.
Anyways, up next, Eagles at the Lions.
Well, I can tell you from living in Detroit, people are actually excited this year about going to football games, about watching their football team play. I really think that the Lions are going to start their season out with a bang. I don't even want to talk about the Eagles. I don't care about the Eagles. I don't care about how good they are. I don't care about how good they've stayed. I don't care about Jalen Hurts. I don't care. The Lions are going to win their first game. I'm taking Detroit.
I like Dan Campbell. Dan Campbell's a really good coach. I think he's actually monstrous. And plus the Lions, last season was really bad for them. However, they end the season beating Green Bay.
And that's huge.
That is very huge.
I think that, and I could tell you last year, Lions fans, like, just watching them. I work with a couple. Watching them, it's just, it's sad to see how much they didn't believe. But when this dude started taking over, like that one interview he had where he cried, I seen Lions fans like get excited again. From a team of perennial losers that have lost everything from Megatron to a 0-16 season to Matt Stafford leaving for Los Angeles last year and winning his first Super Bowl. That must have been a stab to the chest of all Lions fans. You know what
That
I
would
mean?
hurt.
I think they got a lot this year to prove. I think Jared Goff has had time to learn what he's going to learn. I think it's a whole new year for Detroit.
Now, that's the one problem I have with Detroit is Jared Goff. I don't think this team is ready to beat teams that are actually elite teams. Like, let's just say the Los Angeles Rams, the Buffalo Bills, Kansas City, for example. And I don't think Jared Goff is the quarterback to lead a team into games against elite teams like that. And that's what you really need in the NFL to make a Super Bowl or a playoff appearance. However, I think the Lions are a good enough team to beat teams like the Philadelphia Eagles. And sadly, we got to talk about this because this is Jalen Hurts' actual final season, in my opinion. He needs to prove something this season.
I agree. He needs to put up or shut up.
Jalen Hurts is coming out here with Devontae Smith, AJ Brown as a receiving core, and then you also got Dallas Goedert as well.
Yeah, Dallas Goedert's good.
Like that's 3 weapons right there, just alone for Jalen Smith. There's no excuses anymore.
Jalen Smith.
Jalen Hurts, sorry. Jalen Smith's, Jalen Hurts, whatever. Devontae Smith and Hurts was just mixed together, I guess.
Hashtag Cam Jones.
Cam Jones. But yeah, if Jalen Hurts doesn't go out there and prove something this year, like, where are they going moving forward here?
They're not moving forward.
I mean, they have to move forward.
No, I'm saying if they realized, like, but who do they have?
Gardner Minshew.
Minshew.
I want to see him back on the field. F it.
With his porn mustache.
Yes, with his porn. I mean, here's the thing, though. He went out there with Jacksonville and he got wins. That's all that matters in the NFL.
That's true. But has he won as an Eagle?
Has he? I don't think he's played as an Eagle.
Exactly. That speaks a lot. They brought him onto the team knowing that he could win, and they haven't played.
Yeah. Jalen needs to prove something this year. So you're taking the Lions over the Eagles, 100%.
100%.
All right. Man, how are the Eagles favored in this game? I watched their last preseason game against the freaking Dolphins, and they got completely railed. I don't think Hurts is that good of a quarterback as well, in my opinion. I'm gonna probably take the Lions over the Eagles. I feel like Dan Campbell has something going in Detroit, and if Detroit gets better players in the next season, they're gonna be a scary team to watch out for in the NFC. I also think the NFC North in this situation right now, and we're going to talk about the team that they have to actually fight against for that spot, but I think that division's wide open. And we'll talk about it later when we get to the team that I'm talking about. But the Lions have a chance to really make a name in their division and take that division back from the evil Empire Packers if they can get some momentum going. Up next, we have the Colts and Texans.
Well, I'm going to let you talk about this game real quick.
All right, you want me to talk about this game? Well, the Colts, they bring in Matt Ryan. Not a bad pickup for the Colts, in my opinion. That's a good, pickup. Man, I don't know what really to say about the Colts, though. I mean, Pittman Jr. is nice.
They're average.
They're an average. Their defense is underrated in my opinion. Their defense is a lot better, but this team rides or dies off of the back of Jonathan Taylor.
I agree.
Texans.
I mean,
go ahead.
So, I don't know how I feel about Matt Ryan coming to the Colts. Like, I don't know if this is just like, how good is he going to be? Like, Matt Ryan has been an Eagle since the beginning, or a Falcon since the beginning of his career.
This is like reminding me of Phillip Rivers going to Indy that one year they made the playoffs. I think that's a perfect example of what we have going on in Indianapolis right now. Is it's basically Phillip Rivers 2.0.
Right.
They can win games. They can make the playoffs. I don't know how far they're going to go. That's the whole thing.
I don't think they're going to go very far, unfortunately.
Let's talk about the Houston Texans. Davis Mills.
I mean, David Mills showed that he could be decent.
Davis Mills and Brandon Cooks has been actually apparently they're getting really comfortable with each other, really, which is getting interesting for Houston fans.
They got rid of the cancer that was known as Deshaun Watson.
They had no choice, and also the defense they're moving along more of a older style defense with like Jerry Hughes on it. With some young guys as well. Like Jerry Hughes is just there to basically mentor roles basically around here. They pick up OJ Howard from the Bills after they cut him. He's not starting, however. It's Brendan Jordan starting for tight end for the Texans. I like this young talent for the Texans. However, I don't like it this season for games winning the seasons this year.
Nah.
They gotta still like progress. That's the thing. We gotta see how a little bit of draft picks do, and I think Davis Mills. This is a proven season for Davis Mills to show that he can like actually be a franchise quarterback for this team. And if he shows up and he shows off this season, he could probably keep the job for a little longer than just one season.
Right, I agree.
The Texans need to win a few games if Davis Mills wants to stay around. Indianapolis has a clear edge in this game. I gotta take Indy over the Texans, however.
Me too.
I don't think it's like cut and dry like where Indy's like in a better spot. I think Texans are better overall going forward in the future, but this season it's still the Colts domain against Texans, let's just say. I believe the Colts actually have a better win percentage against the Texans.
I like that word that you used. They have a better domain.
I mean, domain in their division. And I was going to say domain over the whole division, but I forgot about that. I was thinking like, oh wait, they have to tag the Titans still. So I can't really say that yet.
Right.
Okay, up next, Patriots at Dolphins.
We have to talk about this game, don't we?
Dolphin fans, Tyreek Hill means nothing if you can't throw him the fucking ball.
Thanks, somebody said it.
Oh my god, he threw a freaking pass that was underthrown to Tyreek Hill in a fucking preseason game. Oh my god, we're gonna win the fucking division. Patriots, I fucking hate you. Please beat the fuck out of this team. Please.
I concur. But let's talk about the quarterback room in Miami. Who's there besides Tua?
I know they're starting Tua for sure. That's 100% because their fans won't shut up about him. But they got Teddy Bridgewater as a backup. And Skylar Thompson as a third.
See, I don't like that. I think that the Dolphins should be playing Teddy Bridgewater.
I don't think Bridgewater makes much of a difference, really, in this
I think
situation.
Bridgewater's better. I think Bridgewater's better than Tua Tagovailoa. That's for sure.
Yeah, I agree with you. And plus, Bridgewater can at least throw the ball more than 15 yards.
And he's mobile.
And, well, I don't know how mobile he is after his torn ACL.
True.
I think, but they're both freaking not mobile. Tua tore his ACL too. What am I talking about?
I mean, honestly, I just think it's a better move to play Teddy Bridgewater over Tagovailoa. That's just my opinion.
And
I
by
think
the way,
the Dolphins could win a lot better, win a lot more games. Again, it's my opinion.
yes. I'm gonna say this though, Dolphin fans, you are right on one aspect though. This team looks like the Chiefs in skill players. Chase Edmonds is not a bad running back. The Chiefs don't really have a running back either though, so I can't really say that that much. But Tyreek Hill, Jalen Waddle, those are two great receivers in my opinion. Mike Gesicki is actually a really great underrated tight end. I hate to say it, but he is. Do you concur?
No,
You don't
absolutely
like Mike
not.
Gesicki?
He's terrible.
You think Gesicki's terrible?
Mm-hmm.
I can't say it when he actually went out against the Bills and freaking like dominated that defense. That's my only thing. I don't think
That's
he's.
why I don't like him.
Yeah.
Of course, I think he's good. I just don't like him.
And then you also got some great players on defense as well. Melvin Ingram III, you bring in. Jerome Baker is actually a decent linebacker in my opinion. Xavier Howard, I'd be like dumb not to stop out Xavier Howard. Byron Jones is still on the team even though he's injured. The Dolphins have talent around them. It's just they have no fucking quarterback. That's the thing. It's like Tua Tagovailoa is not gonna go out there and play with Patrick fucking Mahomes.
I don't believe you, Wolf. I believe that they have a quarterback in Teddy Bridgewater. I think Teddy Bridgewater is a perfect, viable option. And when he played for the Vikings, he was good. And I don't know why people sleep on him. Last year, he won a bunch of games for the Broncos.
Okay, but Potter, they're not starting him, so that doesn't really matter. Until they start him, until he actually gets on the field, is when Teddy Bridgewater is gonna matter for the Dolphins. They have this sick, deluded mindset that not Teddy Bridgewater, that Tua Tagovailoa is their freaking savior. Someone needs to get into their thick skulls that this man's fucking trash and belongs in a fucking dumpster. Speaking of dumpsters, the Patriots quarterback, Mac Jones, has somewhat digressed this preseason. And I'm not even going to attack Mac Jones like I'm attacking Bridgewater because Mac Jones, I don't think is actually that bad of a quarterback. I do, however, think he's reached his ceiling as a player. He's young, but I don't really see that much after that, really.
I agree.
Now, don't get me wrong, Ace. You guys have no receiving core to throw to him. I mean, you got Devontae Parker now, which is cool. That's a nice little side piece right there. Defense still looking nice as always. I mean, you lost your J.C. Jackson, so it's gonna be interesting to see how that secondary looks. But you still got Matthew Judon. You still got let's see, Devin McCourty. Lawrence Guy is actually a decent player as well. This defense I don't sleep on because this defense is always great because of their freaking coach that comes out and brings them out. That's all I gotta say about the defense for New England. However, I do think that Cole Strange starting is kind of funny. I don't think Mac Jones has a good offensive line to really help him this season, and I think it's gonna show like wonders when he's getting blitzed and has no idea what the hell to do in the pocket.
It's going to show his inexperience.
So who am I gonna take in, the Patriots or Dolphins? I gotta take the Patriots. Please shut up the Dolphins. And by the way, pardon?
For the first time, and I sometimes do this, and I know everybody hates it when I do this, but I'm not going to choose either team. I hate either. I hate both teams equally. I hope they both lose. I hope Mac Jones breaks his ankle. I hope Tagovailoa throws 5 picks in the game. Go Bills.
Fair enough. I can't like argue with that. I will say this, however, for the Dolphins, they are probably the favorite in this game because the Dolphins always seem to own New England for some reason, which is weird.
But if you made me pick,
Pardon?
I'd have to pick the Patriots.
I think the Patriots will beat the Dolphins. I think the Dolphins won twice last season against the Patriots. Patriots need to get back into contention after the embarrassing loss by the Buffalo Bills in the playoffs. That's an embarrassing loss for them. They need to actually like rebound off of, and being a division rival in their home at home, it helps the job. It helps kind of negate that wound a little bit. So I'm taking the Patriots over the Dolphins. Speaking of trash, Ravens at Jets.
Honestly, the way I've always felt about the Jets, they're a fucking dumpster fire of bullshit.
Zach Wilson is out for this game, and they're going to be starting Joe Flacco.
Joe Flacco is going to go against his former team. He won 2 Super Bowls with.
Yep.
This could be an interesting game.
I think he's only won 1, though.
2?
He won 1.
Oh, no. No, you're right. He's only won 1.
Yeah, you're thinking of the 2000 team. He wasn't on that team. Yeah.
That was Trent Dilfer, my bad.
Yeah.
Fucking Trent Dilfer.
Man, what do I gotta say? I gotta say something about the Jets because people want me to actually talk about this fucking team for some reason. I got messages about wanting me to talk about the Jets. They want to torture me.
You want me to talk about how trash they are? Sweet. Okay. They suck. I don't feel like they've made any strides going forward at all. I think they're the same shite dumpster fire that they were last year. They have no idea where the fuck they're going, what direction they're going. They have no idea. They're just hopeful to get 3 wins this season, in my opinion. I feel like they have a big chalkboard in the back, and they're like, hey, boys, let's just win 3 games and blah, blah, blah. And they're like, okay. And they barely can do that. It's kind of embarrassing to be a Jets fan. As much as I hate them, I'm embarrassed for you guys. I don't even hate you guys anymore. It's just more like I feel bad. I feel sad for you guys. Like you guys are just willingly going out and be like, Jets, Jets, knowing they suck. The absolute fucking dickiest of dicks.
So, talking about the defense, they lost Marcus May, who was probably their best player on defense, I believe. They added Sauce Gardner. Sauce Gardner's already talking a lot of shit, even though he got drafted as a rookie, saying that he's gonna lock up freaking Stephon Diggs.
Oh, okay.
Did you hear about that?
No.
He said he was gonna lock up most of the receivers in the AFC East. I'm like,
I don't listen to stupid Jet stuff.
Lamarcus Joyner actually joined the Jets as a free safety. That's probably their best player on the defense. Actually, CJ Mosley as well is still there. This team depends on Zach Wilson. It depends. And here's the thing: Zach Wilson is the difference between winning 2 games in the season or winning 8. Notice how I said 8.
I don't think they're winning 8.
Their best season this year could be winning 8 games if they actually get some shit right and they actually like somehow not be the Jets and be a dumpster fire. I'm not gonna
let Teddy Bridgewater go.
Pardon?
I still feel like the Jets are stupid when they let Teddy Bridgewater walk.
Did they have Teddy Bridgewater?
Yeah, I think last year or 2 years ago, I can't remember.
But Zach Wilson, if he's supposed to be this god quarterback that the Jets think he is, he's going to be the difference between winning 2 games and 7 games or 8 games. I don't think the Jets are making the playoffs. Like, they need to prove it to me that they can win games before I start actually taking them seriously. That's my whole issue. You also have Denzel Mims begging and pleading the team to trade him, but they're not doing that as well. So you got a disgruntled receiver on your team as well. That's actually... Denzel Mims is actually really good. It's just he hasn't had time to show it because he's been on the bench. Ravens, I think, have a clear shot beating the Jets. However, I have my own problems with the Ravens as well. I don't know... they have still not signed Lamar Jackson. You have any thoughts about that? Just me talking about Lamar Jackson has killed my co-host. All right, I think Potter's like AFK actually for real. But yeah, Lamar Jackson not being like signed yet is kind of like questioning for me. I think Lamar Jackson's a great not a great quarterback in the sense of passing, but he's a game changer. If you let Lamar Jackson start running all over the field against you, he's gonna be a problem. You gotta stop him in the field. That's how you beat him. This defense also added Calais Campbell and Michael Pierce as well. Marcus Peters is still on the Ravens as well with Marlon Humphreys. This is a really good defense. Yeah, I'm taking the Ravens over the Jets easily. I don't think there's much of a question. Potter, are you still here? Potter, hello?
I'm still here.
Oh, okay. You're taking the
So
Ravens
what
over
I
the
was
Jets?
saying as I was reading a story about Lamar Jackson's contract talks. I apologize. I kind of went off whatever for a minute. But what I'm hearing is they're trying to get to a deal by the end of the week. If we don't see a deal done by the end of the week, that means they're going to stop their contract talks. Both sides might stop talking, which means we won't see a deal done until the offseason, or if Lamar Jackson wants to hit free agency come March 1st. He is playing in his 5th and final year.
I think they're gonna resign him. But
I don't know. I don't know. If they don't come to contract talks this week, that might put it. If I was Lamar Jackson, I'd be like, play the best that I can, wait for them to offer me a contract and decline it and hit free agency. See what money I'm worth.
I could see it happening too. It all depends on Lamar's character, though. That's the whole issue right there. You're taking the Ravens over the Jets so easily, right?
Of course I am. Think I'm going to
Okay.
pick the Jets?
Jaguars
Not
at
today,
Commanders.
Jets fans. Ooh. So this is an interesting game. This is a very interesting game. It's Trevor Lawrence versus, and I believe Carson Wentz is the starter in Washington right now.
Yes.
So Wentz starting for his 3rd team in 2 years.
Yep.
Has a lot to prove here. Has a lot to prove, in my opinion. Same with Trevor Lawrence. I mean, Wentz is still relatively young, has been to a Super Bowl, has a Super Bowl ring with the Philadelphia Eagles, even though he didn't really do anything. It could be a fresh start for him. And I like Washington. They did a lot last year. They went to the playoffs. I was surprised they even made it to playoffs.
Was that last year or 2 years ago?
I believe this was this past year. I believe they played the Bucs in the first round.
You might be right. I just want to make sure, just to make sure.
Unless that was last year, and I apologize in advance, but I'm pretty sure I'm right.
I think you're right too. Let me just
because Heineke played against Tom Brady, and they said the amount of years between them and stuff.
No, it wasn't. It was just 2 years ago. They Bucs played the Eagles in the wild card.
But still, like I still like this team a lot. I like this Washington team a lot. I think they can beat. I think they can definitely beat the Jaguars. Jaguars lost a lot.
All right, so Washington went out. They got a receiver in not Curtis Samuel, Jahan Dotson. Let's just call it out there. So you put another receiver next to Terry McLaurin. McLaurin's a really good receiver, by the way.
Yeah, he is.
The only problem with Washington is their offensive line. They usually get their quarterbacks killed. Also, for some reason, quarterbacks die in Washington field for some reason because that field's not like properly made or whatever. I'm not gonna get into the specifics about that, but when you talk about Washington, you can't really talk about the offense. You gotta talk about the defense. Montez Sweat, Jonathan Allen, Chase Young, who is out this game as well against the Jaguars. But Chase Young, when he comes back, he's gonna be a stud as always. And then after that, after the front three, you kind of like get a little bit with Kendall Fuller being like the best player really after that. I mean, Cole Holcomb's all right. Jameis Davis is okay, whatever. Kendall Fuller, Bobby McClain as a free safety. I believe Cameron Curl is actually the starter for the safety position. I don't know if he's playing or not. I believe he's questionable to actually play in this game. Oh, man. They're going to hurt not having Chase Young on the field, though, for the Commanders. Let's move on to the other team, though, that they're facing, the Jaguars. Can anything to say about Trevor Lawrence?
I mean, in my opinion, he's mediocre. He's mediocre.
I'll give him the benefit of the doubt. He was with Urban Meyer last season.
Yeah.
That's gonna hurt any quarterback.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Now, the Jaguars went out and they did something that was bold, brave, something that's idiotic in my opinion. They gave Christian Kirk, Marvin Jones, and Zay Jones like big, massive contracts to join the Jaguars to give Trevor Lawrence some weapons.
Zay Jones is a weapon?
Apparently, he's starting. According to the depth chart.
According to backwards ass fucking Jacksonville, Florida.
Evan Ingram
the
also
only place
that
that fucking crazy ass Zay Jones who shoots people would start. Do you guys not know in Jacksonville about that Zay Jones like shot somebody? Do you guys not know about that? Because we know about that.
He shot somebody?
Yeah, his whole fucking like he went crazy and shit. That's why he's not with. That's why he got released from the Bills.
That was rumored, I believe. I didn't think he actually shot somebody.
Yeah, it was not rumored. It was a thing.
Oh, here's the thing.
Him and his brother. Him and his brother had like a handgun or some shit, or he had a handgun.
I didn't really care because Zay Jones sucked anyways.
When he first joined Buffalo, I was kind of high on him.
I mean, when someone first joins Buffalo, everyone's high on certain players.
Yeah, I just expected a lot.
On the defense, you got Shaquille Griffin, probably the best defensive player. No, not that. What am I saying? They have Josh Allen, of course, as well. I keep forgetting about that.
The other Josh Allen.
But besides Josh Allen and Shaquille Griffin, I don't really know who else is on this defense. Yeah, Commanders or Jaguars? Who you taking?
Commanders.
Yeah, I got the Commanders as well. Trevor Lawrence needs to prove it to me before I actually start believing in him as a quarterback. He had a terrible season last season. It was his rookie season, and he had Urban Meyer as a coach. I'll give him the benefit of the doubt. Go out there and prove it to me against Washington. Prove it this season as well. Like, start actually getting something going, and then we'll be talking about you as a decent quarterback if you can actually do it.
Right.
All right. Up next, we got the Chiefs at the playbook. Study your playbook, ladies and gentlemen.
So, the Arizona Cardinals, Kyler Murray, going up against Kansas City. I mean, it's really tough to say. I'm going to let you talk about this game.
This freaking team put a freaking stipulation into this man's contract to study 4 hours of film each and every night.
Who?
The Cardinals restructured Kyler Murray's deal, and they put in the deal that he has to watch 4 hours of film each night.
But they gave him more money, didn't they?
Yes, but in the there's, and yes, it did change this after fans started questioning what the fuck was going on here. But it's still funny to talk about. It's still big to talk about that Kyler Murray needed to have a reminder to watch film every night. That is very interesting, clause to put in someone's contract.
I agree. Why the hell?
Are you high on the Cardinals?
Not really.
Kyler Murray going out there, he's not going to have his star weapon, DeAndre Hopkins. Hopkins is out for suspension. He got hit with some drug in his system. I don't know exactly the context of it, but he's suspended. He's not going to be there. It's going to be AJ Green, Marquise Brown, and Ronell Moore as a receiving core for the Cardinals. Zach Ertz is going to be playing. He's questionable, however. Can Kyler Murray actually do it without DeAndre Hopkins on the field is the question.
I think he can.
Against the Chiefs,
I think he has perfect enough weapons.
AJ Green's in his tail end of his career. That's the thing as well.
He can still catch a football, can he not?
That's true.
And same thing with fucking Brown. Brown can still catch a football too.
Marquise Brown's not that old. I don't think he is, at least.
I'm just saying he can. So they're very,
Oh no, it's Marquise. Wait. Is this who I think it is?
Marquise Goodwin?
No, Marquise Brown. Is this the one that was on the freaking Ravens named Hollywood Brown?
Unless it's... Yeah, it could be the one and the same.
Hollywood Brown. This is Hollywood Brown. I didn't even know the Cardinals picked up Hollywood Brown. Okay, I don't know how I feel about
I very well believe that he can do this without DeAndre Hopkins.
Okay, let's go to the other side of the spectrum here. How do you think the Chiefs are going to do without Tyreek Hill?
Perfectly fine.
Juju Smith-Schuster replacing Hill as a star receiver.
I think that's, in my opinion, a really good move. I mean, no one's going to be able to replace that speed, but Schuster's going to be just as good.
I can't wait to see Jackson Mahomes and Juju on the field together with their TikToks.
Jesus.
But yes, they still got talent. They still got Travis Kelce. They still got Hardman. Scantling is a decent receiver in my opinion. He's okay. I think Mahomes will actually make the most out of him though. They upgraded their offensive line again, apparently I heard. Orlando Brown Jr. starting at left tackle. Creed Humphrey at center. What I wanted to talk about really with this Chiefs though is the defense. Last season it was kind of this defense was suspect at best last season. This year they got still Chris Jones there. They also got Frank Clark as well. And then after that, besides Justin Reed, I don't really know who else is really on this team as a secondary. So the question is, can the real quickly before I actually go through that, let's talk about the Cardinals defense. J.J. Watt starting at the left defensive tackle or left defensive end position. He's questionable to play in this game. Marcus Goldston playing as well. Butter Baker still on the safety position for the Cardinals. Byron Murphy Jr. is in the left cornerback position. Isaiah Simmons is a middle linebacker, I believe, or inside linebacker. Yeah, I mean, all right. I think it's an okay defense.
I'm going to take the Chiefs.
Taking the Chiefs?
Yeah.
I think the Chiefs are the safe play to pick here because, I mean, Mahomes is still kind of Mahomes.
Dynamic.
Yep. If you keep Mahomes, if you don't put pressure on Mahomes, he's a really good quarterback. He can dice you up. You need to get pressure on Mahomes to beat him, in my opinion. And I don't know if the Cardinals have that, so I'm taking the Chiefs over the Cardinals. Raiders against Chargers.
Now this is a good game. This is a really good game, actually. But I feel that this is the Chargers. Justin Herbert. I mean, Justin Herbert. Hold on, I'll be back. You can go ahead and talk about this game.
All right, let's talk about Justin Herbert since we're talking about the offense. They still got Keenan Allen, Mike Williams, Austin Eckler. Really good offense for the Chargers, but let's talk about this defense. You go out, you go free agency, you grab J.C. Jackson, you grab Khalil Mack as well to add to this defense. And you also grab Kyle Van Noy from New England as well. You grab J.C. Jackson and Kyle Van Noy. Wow, okay. I did not even think they grabbed Kyle Van Noy. I thought he was still on New England. Duh. But Joey Bosa as well, still here as well. This defense is improved tremendously. Not to mention Derwin James Jr. still in the safety spot as well. This is a most dangerous Charger defense. And it's going to be hard to beat them, ladies and gentlemen. Let's go to Vegas real quick. Let's talk about the Vegas, like what they really signed. They still got Derek Carr. They still got Josh Jacobs. They went out to Green Bay and said, hey, Green Bay, you want to give us Devontae Adams for nothing? We'll take him off your hands. They get Devontae Adams. Hunter Renfrow still as a receiver. Darren Waller still there for the Raiders as well. Not bad on offense for the Raiders. Defense, Chandler Jones, they added a defensive end right there in Chandler Jones, a veteran stud right there in Chandler Jones, in my opinion. Denzel Perryman's still there in the middle linebacker spot. Rakia Sin is going in the cornerback spot. The only reason I know Rakia Sin is because of his name. Used to make jokes about it. But you still got Jonathan Abrams as well. Max Crosby as well for the Raiders defense. I mean, this is not bad. The Raiders just need to basically They made the playoffs last year because the Chargers decided, well, they would have made it regardless, but the Chargers, I think, basically robbed themselves last season in the end of the season to make the playoffs last season because they could have made the playoffs, but they just didn't. Potter, what's your opinion on this game?
I still believe the Chargers are going to win this game. They were their own worst enemy last year. They could have went to the playoffs, but no, they gave it to the Raiders. And I think the Chargers are going to come out to prove that they're the better team than the Raiders, no matter how much the Raiders have bolstered in this offseason or not.
So the Raiders went out and got Devontae Adams.
So?
Exactly. The Chargers went out and they got J.C. Jackson, Kyle Van Noy, Khalil Mack, along with Joey Bosa and Derwin James Jr. That is a star-studded defense.
That is a star defense.
There's only one problem with that defense, and that is how they're going to gel together. If they do not gel well together, that might be a problem for them.
Very true.
However, I do think the Chargers have a lot better defense than the Raiders. I think the Raiders just have really Devontae Adams, Hunter Renfrow, Josh Jacobs, and that's basically it. Derek Carr needs to prove that he's an elite quarterback this season as well. He has no excuses anymore. Yeah, I'm picking the Chargers over the Raiders. I can't take the Raiders really against this defense.
Oh, well, if you're picking the Chargers, then I'm going to pick the Raiders.
Just to add some spice to it?
Yeah, I'm going to pick the Raiders.
Now, let me just say this real quickly. I think the AFC West is the most talented it's been in a long time. And we still got... Pardon?
No, my buddy dropped dog's food bowl on the ground and made that loud noise.
Okay. But yeah, I think the AFC West is the most star-studded it's been in a long time, and we still got one more team to talk about in that division. And we'll talk about them in just a little bit. But however, we got the next game. Excuse me. Packers at Vikings.
Damn, so many division rival games in week one. I mean, what can you say about this game except for it's a long division rivalry that goes back into the 60s and the 50s of these two teams fan base hating each other. And that time-honored tradition continues Sunday when the Green Bay Packers go into Minnesota, and Aaron Rodgers could be playing in his last year ever.
Aaron Rodgers always, like, everyone always said that about him, like, oh, this is his last season, this is his last season. He
I
still
said
has not
could be.
quit. I know, I'm just saying it just for the people watching, because you know how people are.
Yeah.
Aaron Rodgers came out on an interview lately and said that if his receivers want to be a starter, they have to actually prove themselves, or they're not going to be on
And
the field.
I agree with him.
Man, what do we have to say about these two teams? Let's start with the Packers first. You go out, you add Sammy Watkins, Sammy Watkins, Randall Cobb, Aaron Jones. Rodgers has no help again, basically.
As long as Watkins can stay healthy, I think he's a solid option.
I think Watkins is a really solid option as well, and people don't realize that. However, the problem with Watkins is he's never healthy, like you just said.
Injury prone.
He's an injury prone receiver, sadly. And
Sam
he's a
Bradford.
Super Bowl champion somehow. The defense still looking great. Preston Smith in the wide linebacker spot. Javier Alexander still in the corner. Campbell, I believe, is on this team as well. Kenny Clark is still in this team as the nose tackle. Not bad defense. Let's go to Minnesota real quick. Kirk Cousins.
Kirk Cousins. I think he's average. I think that Minnesota really shit the bed when they went for him. Why would you sit and wait when you could have had, like, I know that Minnesota could have had Patrick Mahomes. Minnesota could have drafted anybody, but yet they waited for Kirk Cousins, and Kirk Cousins has been, in my opinion, shitty. He doesn't do. What does he do for them?
He's really good against bad teams.
Yeah, against bad teams. But who isn't good against bad teams?
Yeah, but
that's like saying I'm the most fucking down person syndrome with down person syndrome. Like that would be like saying that. Like, not to just be rude like that, but that's kind of where I'm going with that. Like, I can be great against a bad team would be saying, like, my geriatric 85-year-old grandmother can catch a 20-yard pass against that said team 20 times in a row. I mean, anybody can be good against a bad team, buddy. What I'm saying is what happens when the bad team doesn't get any better.
I'm gonna say this about Cousins. He has talent around him, first of all. Jefferson, Thielen, somehow not making the job.
What has he done? What has he done? He's one of those quarterbacks where he can be great in, like you said, against bad teams, but against good teams, he's mediocre. He makes mistakes. Like, he looks like he's, it's his first game ever, all over again when he plays a good team. Playing against an elite team, he struggles really bad, in my opinion, and he always has. It's always been like that, even with him and when he was in Washington. That's always how it's been.
However, I think Washington's biggest problem last season was not Cousins. It was more so their head coach, and they finally got rid of Mike Zimmer.
Minnesota.
Who did I say?
You said Washington, but that's okay. It's because I just said Washington.
Yeah. But yeah, Minnesota's biggest problem is they had Mike Zimmer, and Mike Zimmer was just I don't know what.
Now they have Kevin O'Connell, right? That's their head coach.
I think so. I can find out.
Kevin O'Connell, I believe his name is.
But they went out.
And honestly,
pardon, just keep going.
I like what he brings. I'm hoping that he sees right through the bullshit that is Kirk Cousins, and he goes and he tries to either draft a quarterback or something. Like honestly, I would love to see. And here's just me saying this to say this. I would love to see Colin Kaepernick don the purple and gold and be a Viking for the rest of his career. Colin Kaepernick wants to play. I think he's better than Kirk Cousins. He's out there. I do, and it would be great to see Kevin O'Connell, a new coach, giving a player a second chance. How good does that look for a coach like that?
Looks good. I mean, yeah. I mean,
But will it happen? No.
no. How about Nick Mullins? Because this is where Nick Mullins went to Minnesota.
I like Nick Mullins. I think that he was in San Fran, was he
Yes.
not?
Yep.
I think that he can be good. I think Nick Mullins is definitely moldable. He's definitely, in my opinion, in the next. I mean, it could be a situation where he's just playing quarterback for right now, and Nick Mullins is the starter halfway through the season. I mean, I feel like the Vikings have had issues with Kirk Cousins during the whole COVID thing, and they were kind of backed into a corner because that's their viable quarterback option. Like, they didn't have anybody behind him, and not anybody that was any good.
Let me
So what
look
were
at
they
Kirk
going to do?
Cousins' stats last season.
I don't think they were that good. I think they were mediocre at best.
So we got 66% completion percentage, over 400 yards passing, 33 touchdowns and 7 interceptions. I mean,
that's good for right now.
Yeah, I mean, he was also in the Pro Bowl last season.
I just don't like Kirk Cousins.
I don't think Kirk Cousins is the long-term answer.
I don't think Kirk Cousins likes you either, Pooty.
But I don't think Kirk Cousins is the long-term answer for Minnesota.
Yeah.
But he can get the job done on certain teams, I guess you can say. All right, Packers.
But how does that fare? How does that fare when Minnesota wants the one thing that they've never been able to get their hands on, and that's a Super Bowl? How does beating some teams some of the time and the rest of the teams none of the times helps you get a Super Bowl? It doesn't. Sorry, it doesn't.
If Kirk Cousins
he's
wants
not
to prove
a franchise
himself,
quarterback.
this is a team he has
he's
to
never,
beat.
in my opinion, he's never been a franchise quarterback. The fact that Minnesota has wasted their time this long with him, in my opinion, is just it's mind-boggling.
So you're taking Green Bay over Minnesota?
Absolutely.
I think Green Bay is a safe pick. I'm actually going to take Minnesota just to be different here.
Nice.
Let's just have some differentities in the picks here. Minnesota, I can see Minnesota coming out, and I'm going to tell you why I'm picking Minnesota. I can see Minnesota surprising the Green Bay Packers, especially early in the season. We saw last season Aaron Rodgers had a slow start to the season. Didn't start off really well for the Packers last season. I think the Packers are going to be the same way again this season against Minnesota, and I think Minnesota's going to steal a win against them in their hometown, in Minnesota. They're starting in Minnesota, so they have an actual home field advantage as well in this game. So yeah, I just think that Aaron Rodgers is gonna have a slow start at the end of the season, and then once it's week 3 or 4, he'll start actually coming out and banging, passes like this, like that here and there. My thing about Green Bay, he has different receivers. He has to learn his receiver core as well. It's gonna take a few games for him to get comfortable with them. All right, you ready for the next game?
Yep.
Giants at Titans.
So now in the backfield in the Giants, they have Saquon Barkley and Matt Breida, which I like a lot. And I mean, the Titans have made some. I like the Titans this year too. Like, I don't feel like Tannehill. I don't ever feel like Ryan Tannehill was a bad quarterback. I feel like Ryan Tannehill was in a shit situation in Miami for as many years as they kept him, and he just hit a ceiling there that he couldn't be as good as he is here in Tennessee, which I feel that Ryan Tannehill's the best that he's ever played in his whole career.
Tannehill's job is in jeopardy. They brought in a rookie. They drafted a rookie, Malik Willis. So he is the backup to Tannehill.
Hey, back up.
Yep.
I mean, I still think Tannehill can get the job done. And on the other side of the spectrum, we're trying to talk about Daniel Jones. Daniel Jones is what, in his third year now?
Third or fourth.
And Joe Judge is there. No.
No.
It's now what's his name from the Bills,
Brian
the
DeBall.
offensive coordinator, Brian DeBois. And it seems like a lot of players that were loyal to DeBois went over to New York from Buffalo.
Matt Breida. Let's see. There was a few other ones, but not as
There's a
much as
few
people
other
said.
players that left, but not as yeah. I mean, it's still. I think that he could be a great coach. I think that the Giants are going to be a different team this year with Brian DeBois as their coach. I really think that this is going to be one of those games where it's like, I don't know who's going to win this game, Wolf. I really like both teams. And especially because, DeBois brings a lot of spunk, in my opinion, to their offense in New York. I think the offense is going to be playing in almost a similarity to the way that Buffalo has been running their offense for the last couple years. And I'm excited to see that. I'm excited to see how the Giant players are gonna react and be able to fare in this Brian Dabois offensive system.
So you want to start with the Giants first or the Titans?
Well, I mean, I was just talking about the Giants, but you can go ahead and talk about the Titans.
I'm gonna start with the Giants actually, since we're on the topic. They bring in Matt Breida. They bring in John Feliciano to be a center for them. I do not like
That's who
Feliciano.
came from the Bills too, John Feliciano.
I believe he was actually was he on the Bills last season? I don't think he was.
He was.
Okay.
He was.
But they still got Sterling Shepard. They still got Therese Tony, Kenny Galladay, Saquon Barkley. The problem with the Giants' offense is they got Daniel Jones at quarterback, and the reason the Buffalo Bills run their offense the way they do is because they have Josh Allen. Daniel Jones is nothing like Josh Allen.
No, not at all. But I think that, again, a young quarterback like that can be molded into a system.
However, they got a backup that we know very well, Tyrod Taylor.
Of course they got Tyrod.
So
Dave Watt
the
using
the question I have for you, how long do you think it's going to take till Tyrod Taylor takes over from Daniel Jones?
I honestly don't think Tyrod Taylor is going to take over for Daniel Jones unless he gets injured. I think Dubois is going to be adamant about playing Jones and getting Jones to be the best quarterback that they can be. And I feel like if Jones is not the option by the end of the year, Dubois is going to be able to draft his own quarterback. So, I mean, honestly, it's Daniel Jones. Like I say with a lot of the competitions, it is Daniel Jones's to lose right now. It is Daniel Jones's time to show that the last regime that picked him wasn't a fluke. Like, he can be a decent player and he can get this Giants team to where they need to be, and that's back in the playoffs.
I don't think they're there yet for the first season. But
well, no, obviously not. Season. But I feel like they can be better than they were last year as with Joe Judge as their coach.
Oh, I mean, what were they last season? Oh my god.
4-12, 4-13, something like that.
4-13 last season. Yeah, I can see him. I can see him winning 5 more games.
I definitely can see that. As long as Saquon stays healthy and Daniel Jones plays well, and if not, there's the obvious. And you know what? In my opinion, that's smart on the point of Dubois to bring in Tyrod Taylor, because Tyrod Taylor has proven himself to be a viable quarterback anywhere he's played.
Tyrod Taylor just hasn't had the chance to actually be an elite quarterback, in my opinion. But he has proven himself to be a decent quarterback and a quarterback that can get you wins when he needs to.
Right. I mean, that's what the Giants need right now.
Yes. The Titans, however, let's go really quickly to the Titans. They lose A.J. Brown. They bring in Robert Woods. They also bring in a rookie receiver, Treylon Burks. Trying to upgrade that receiving core for Ryan Tannehill. Defensive wise, not really looking like they really changed up that much as far as I can tell. They still got Bird, they still got Hooker. I don't see their star. Oh no, Landry's on IR. Okay, so Landry's out for the foreseeable future. I was gonna say I don't see Landry because I think Landry was actually one of their best like pass rushers, but he's on IR, so he's not gonna be playing this game. What do you guys say about the Titans, really quickly, about like Robert Woods, Traylon Burks?
I like the team. Again, I feel like Tannehill's like he might be on the edge of his career, but I still think that he's a very good quarterback and can get the job done.
Of course, they still got Derrick Henry. I gotta mention that too. Yeah, the Titans are looking all right. I mean,
I think that the Titans. I'm going to take the Titans in this game based on just pure like I don't know. I just think that it's not going to be that fast of a changeover for Dubois in New York.
Yeah, I was thinking the same thing about like that too. Is that the Giants are gonna have some learning curves here and there. First game of the season, not gonna be the best for the Giants. They still gotta figure out what their team is, what their identity is, and get their offense running. I think the Titans actually know what their team is. They're gonna run the ball with Derrick Henry down the field, and they're gonna punish the Giants as much as they can. I don't think the Titans are really gonna have much of a problem against the Giants. However, next week we'll be talking about the Titans against the Bills, and that's gonna be a tougher game for the Titans just in general. So this week is just they're kind of like it's a test week for them, yes, but at the same time it's like we don't know what the team is going to be. Now, if the Giants go out there and they actually completely embarrass the Titans, there's a problem.
Right.
The Titans, if they get embarrassed in this game and if they somehow get embarrassed by the Giants, then there's a big problem in Tennessee and they gotta fix it. But yeah, I'm taking Titans over the Giants as well. Up next, we got the Buccaneers at the Cowboys.
Honestly, as much as I hate to say this, I'm going to take the Buccaneers. The Buccaneers are still very dominant. Tom Brady's playing the best he's ever played, and I don't really like the Cowboys, so I'm happy right now, and this will be probably the only time you hear me say this season, unless they play the Jets or the Dolphins or the Patriots. I'm happy to take the Buccaneers in this game.
Now, my only thing about this is that Brady just came off of a retirement, and then he just comes back randomly halfway through before the season starts. Is this guy really just wants to play, or is he just going there just to get the extra money, really, and just calling it quits after this season?
Don't know. Don't care. I mean, it's not my thing to say. All I know is that from what I'm reading and what I'm hearing is that he's playing the best he's ever played in his whole career, and it's true. I mean, not very many players at his age can win a Super Bowl, let alone get to the playoffs and consistently stay in the playoffs.
Cowboys coming into this game, they got Micah Parsons still on the roster, of course, Dak Prescott, Zeke Elliott. They're not going to have Michael Gallup because he's injured right now, but they will have him later in the season. CeeDee Lamb is still a great receiver option for the Cowboys. Dalton Schultz is a decent tight end. Yeah, and then they also had Anthony Barr as well to the linebacking core. This is a very interesting defense, and of course they also still have Trayvon Diggs as well. You're taking the Buccaneers easily over the Cowboys. I'm actually going to go the other way. I'm going to take the Cowboys. And my reason for this is going to be the same reason I had for the Packers. I don't think Brady's going to be quite ready for the season, especially since he took a break in the offseason as well, or in training camp as well, for undisclosed personal reasons. Did you hear about that?
Sorry.
But did you hear about that, about Brady taking a leave of absence in the training camp?
Yep.
So I don't know how ready he is for the start of the season, and I think the Cowboys proved last season against the Bucs that they actually can hang with the Bucs as well.
We'll have to find out. I still think they can't.
They were close to beating him last season. You even had to admit to that too, if you remember
Close
in
but
the
no
videos.
cigar.
True.
Close but no cigar.
But then
And now it's a new year,
New Year.
and I'm
You got
allowed to
rid of
make
the
mistakes.
Bucs. Last but not least, we got Russell Wilson and the Denver Broncos going into Seattle, take on the Seattle Seahawks.
And the prodigal son returns home to Seattle in orange and blue, and I love it. I love it so much. I think Russell Wilson is excited. I think that the Broncos and Broncos fans are excited again. They have a quarterback, and he's great. Let's see what he could do, and I think that he's going to carve up his old team. I don't think that Geno Smith's going to make even anything against this newly empowered Broncos team.
I mean, real quickly, Denver Broncos, they get Russell Wilson. They still have Jerry Jeudy, who's a really good receiver, in my opinion. Cortland Sutton is actually an underrated receiver, in my opinion, as well. I don't really know that much about their defense, though. I think their defense is kind of lackluster in the bottom tier of this league. However, I do think that this is a better team for Denver than they had in previous years because they bring in Russell Wilson. They bring in a lot of hype for the season as well. They actually have a shot at winning the division. Every team in the AFC West has a shot at winning the division this year, and that's what you gotta love about this season. As for the Seattle Seahawks, I mean, this is a
Smith.
team.
Wah, wah, wah.
Geno Smith, and you also got Drew
Sorry,
Lock.
Smooth. Sorry, Smooth. You got Drew Lock or Geno Smith throwing to one of the best receivers, in my opinion, in the whole league. And that's frustrating if you're DK Metcalf. You're frustrated. Like, what the fuck is this, man? Like, I gotta play with these fucks now instead of playing with Russell Wilson. And like, how long does it take for someone to get disgruntled before they don't want to play anymore? And they don't, how long is that gonna take?
Let me just read off this actual Seahawks offense. You got Rashad Penny starting at running back. Okay, whatever. And then you got Tyler Lockett at receiver. You know who Tyler Lockett is, right?
I know who that is. I just didn't know who that running back was.
DK Metcalf.
Once again, I think is one of the best larger receivers in the league. You can all around do everything.
And then you got Noah Fant at tight end.
I like Noah Fant.
Okay, you do.
I like Noah Fant a lot.
That's who they got for this trade for Russell Wilson. They basically got Drew Lock and Noah Fant.
And draft picks.
But besides that, I don't really. And then you got the Seattle defense, which is basically bunch of scrubs, bunch of nobodies. Jamal Adams is overrated. Yeah.
It's a bunch of scrubs, a bunch of nobodies. Jamal Adams is overrated.
It's true.
Not wrong.
This is a good defense. This is a good offensive weapons. It's just you don't have a quarterback, sadly, and a line because that offensive line is bad too. If the Seahawks are gonna be one of the worst teams in the NFL this season, I think they're gonna go for a quarterback in the draft next season, and then you'll see him progress.
Yes, absolutely.
However, easy pick for me. I gotta take the Broncos over the Seahawks. I don't think that this is much of a game.
Yeah, not at all. I'm taking the Broncos over the Seahawks, as you already knew.
And just like that, we have gone through all the games. How are you feeling right now, Potter?
Well, I'm half right and half wrong.
I feel like we just went through the longest video we ever done together. We went through almost 2 hours talking about football tonight.
Jeez. Well, I mean, hey, I enjoy doing this stuff.
So yeah,
it's a pleasure to be in your company, Wolf. Talking football.
Just like that, we're gonna bid you an adieu. We got stuff going on right now with AEW we gotta watch because that is very interesting right now, to say the least.
It's in Buffalo.
It is in Buffalo, yes, but there's other reasons to watch it tonight. So yeah, guys, I'm gonna call it adieu. Potter, any last words?
Good luck to everybody out there that makes their picks.
And remember, that video will be up on Saturday. It'll be the short pick version of this video. It's not gonna be like 2 hours long like this video is. Take care. Peace.
Peace.